Back to you now at 9:13. We're talking about a very serious topic today, domestic violence, and the legislative push to implement Marsy's Law right here in Oklahoma, which would give greater protections to victims of violence as well as to their families. So joining us now is Representative Scott Biggs, who's backing this resolution. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you for having us
today. We always appreciate your time. First, I'd like you to get into Marsy's Law, exactly what it is, because I was researching it yesterday. Honestly, didn't know a whole lot about it. So take us back to its beginnings and where this comes from.
You know, Marsy's Law started off from a gentleman who, had a tragic event happen in his life. His family was murdered, and walked into a gas station and saw the guy who had been released from jail. That happened years ago, and he has started this in other states. Marsy's Law is currently in 5 other states. He's made it his mission to make sure victims across the country have adequate protections. So what happened to him doesn't happen to other people.
And basically one of the big things there is when that family ran into him, they had no idea he was even out free on the streets. So I'm guessing that's one of the big things that we'd like to implement here if this were to become law in Oklahoma.
Absolutely, is the notice, and just being involved. The main thing about this is having the victim more involved in the process. I can't tell you how many times in this bill, in this discussion, the victims feel like the system let them down, that no one's there for them.
And take me through an exact list of what victims, or sadly, if that victim has passed, what their families would be provided with, not only notifications, but what else could we expect?
Once Marsy's Law is in place here in Oklahoma, it's going to start from the second that they're a victim. They start to get help. When the police reads the defendant their Miranda rights and tells them what their rights are, they'll read them the victims of Marsy's Law's rights and tell them what their rights are. And we start the process at that point moving forward, whereas now it starts when the case is filed. We're just stepping it back and helping them earlier.
And does Marsy's Law strictly pertain to victims of domestic violence? Is this violence of all kinds?
All victims.
All victims.
All victims.
Of any kind of violence. And let me take it to this question instead. I know one of the biggest reasons that's being fought for Marsy's Law is because people want victims to have the exact same kind of constitutional rights as the person who's been accused. Right. Do you see inequality there?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
And give us some examples of what you see.
Oklahoma has fought for 30 years to have victims' rights. Right now, a lot of our victims' rights, or all of our victims' rights for the most part, are in state statute. We've had tons of examples where judges have just simply said the defendant's rights are in the Constitution trumps state statute, which is correct. And they've ignored all the rights that we've given victims, haven't allowed them the opportunity to be heard, haven't had the opportunity to even be present at some of these hearings. So what we're doing, as Marsy's Law is doing, is simply elevating the victim's rights to the same level as the defendant. Not above, not more,
just equal.
Same level.
Okay. And I know Oklahoma has certain versions of this law already in place. You have Caitlin's Law, who's named after Caitlin Wooten, who I went to high school with.
Oh, okay.
She was murdered by her mother's ex-boyfriend. And I know it provides some of those kinds of protections, the notification process. So how do these two differ? What does Marsy's Law offer, maybe that Caitlin's Law doesn't offer, that other things that are in place already give us?
They're all going to work together.
Okay.
What this simply does is places them in the Constitution. So when the defendant has a constitutional right, the victim has a constitutional right, and all these are going to work together. The VINE notification system here in Oklahoma, which is supposed to notify victims of release, of transfer, doesn't always do that. That's a statutory right. We're placing that in the Constitution, that they have a right to be notified. Have a right to be involved.
And I know the House Rules Committee voted unanimously to push this through to the next point of the voting process, I guess. Have we tried to push Marsy's Law through before?
This is actually has already passed the House floor. This is one of the first bills that was presented on the House floor and passed 90-5. The House we've made a big push this session to make sure we ask what about the victims and all the discussions that we're having. This was the victims bill of the session, and we got it out in week 2.
Okay. Oh, so where does this go next?
It's currently awaiting action in the Senate. We got 2 more weeks of House bills, and then the Senate will take up this in 2 weeks.
And if this does in fact become law, does this cost the state anything? And if so, what does that price tag look like?
It doesn't cost the state anything, because all we're simply doing is allowing victims the opportunity to have involvement in their case, to have notice.
So are you hearing any sort of pushback on this at all?
Of course,
From constituents or fellow lawmakers or?
With constituents, absolutely not. I mean, everybody.
I wouldn't imagine so, but I had
with
to ask.
fellow lawmakers, absolutely. You know, anytime there's an issue, there's going to be people opposed, and the challenge at this point is making sure we educate those people. I can't tell you how many victims have come forward wanting to share their stories, share what's happening, share how the system's let them down. It passed 90 to 5, so there's 5 people we need to work on.
Okay.
Education's the key.
Sure. And last question to you before we get to a quick check of the forecast. If you were to give Oklahoma a grade, where we stand now in giving victims of violence, whether it be domestic violence or other types, if you were to give them a grade or state a grade, what would you give us?
I'd give it about a C. I mean,
you would give us a C.
Yes, we've done things, we've made improvements, but there's a lot of room to advance victims and victims' rights here in the state.
And hopefully Marsy's Law helps. We had a few people